Hello and welcome to Arsenal Analysed. I'm JC. I hope you're doing well. Today I bring you tactical analysis on Arsenal 3, Liverpool 2. What a huge result this is for us Gooners, back to the top of the league. If you are looking forward to breaking it all down, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. And just before we jump into that all-important tactical board, just a few thoughts on the starting lineup. The only real surprise came at left back. There were murmurs in the build-up to this game that Zinchenko had picked up a minor muscular injury, which it was later confirmed to be the case. Most people did expect Kieran Tierney to come in and replace him. However, Arteta opted to go with Tomiyasu. Four big, strong, physical centre-backs playing very, very narrow, making it difficult for Liverpool to operate in and around that box. But apart from that, the rest of this lineup really does pick itself when it is fit and available. With regards to substitutions, Arteta opted to leave it very, very late. He was happy with the way this team was performing. He was happy with the fitness of this particular squad. Two of those substitutes came beyond the 90th minute, looking to run down that clock. Very, very smart. And with regards to match stats, possession, no real surprises there in that first half. Liverpool did dominate that back end 25 minutes, with Arsenal coming out flying in that second half, dominating quite a bit to begin with before end-to-end stuff unfolded in that last 10 to 20 minutes. Shots-wise, in a game of this quality, Arsenal were always going to make it difficult in terms of the amount of shots they had. We are used to seeing 18, 20, 22 plus, only 11 on this occasion. It was nice to see that we limited Liverpool to only 8. And XG, brilliant stuff, just over 3, meaning the types of opportunities that we created were very good, very clean cut chances. Compared to Liverpool's, those chances were more difficult. That's why their XG is rather low. And then if we have a look at the remaining stats there, like passing, for example, possibly an area to improve. There were a few wayward passes from Arsenal in that first half, maybe a bit of nerves as Liverpool took over possession, but that got better as the game progressed. But that all-important tactical ball, how did it all unfold? Let's dive into it, shall we? So looking here on the screen, Arsenal lining up in their typical 4-3-3 with that front five of Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Odegaard and Saka. Liverpool, on the other hand, opting for more of a 4-2-3-1, but at times it was a front four, which we'll look at in just a moment. But Liverpool very much set up like this when they didn't have the ball. More of a 4-4-2, really making it difficult for Arsenal to operate the way they like to. Saka coming down here with White, offering that support. But it was where Tomiyasu, Martinelli, Jesus and Saka all came down this left-hand side to make it really, really, really difficult for Trent Alexander-Arnold. There were times when Salah was here, for example, and it was just an overload, really. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he loves to get forward. His defending is often criticised as a Liverpool player. And then we saw Martin Odegaard operating between these lines like he normally does. Diaz would sometimes come out here with Liverpool operating as a front four. What made it really difficult for Liverpool is they only had these two in midfield. And we had Odegaard, Xhaka, Jesus dropping in deep sometimes. Even Tomiyasu coming in here. Martinelli, who sometimes plays a bit more of a free role. Sometimes we see him here. Sometimes we see Jesus on this left-hand side as well. But I did think that Arsenal would have more luck in this midfield area, given that Liverpool went with this front four. And we saw that typical shape here from Arsenal as well. More of a, shall we say, 2-3-5 when in possession. Arsenal, on the other hand, when we were out of possession, we lined up in our typical 4-4-2. Xhaka and Partey playing in the middle here. Saka and then Odegaard playing as not a second striker, but if it was a 4-4-2 of old, the Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry days, it would look a little bit something like this. But Arsenal did have problems when it comes to defending because of these four here. What we would sometimes see is Trent Alexander-Arnold up here. We would see Henderson operating in these spaces, and Liverpool would sometimes go to a 3 here with Thiago acting as more of an anchor. Henderson floating in these spaces. from left to right, making it very, very difficult. But what made things interesting for Arsenal is when we were forward and they hit us on the counter quite often, when we saw Arsenal with this front five, Tomiyasu getting forward, we would see Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold here. We saw a few occasions where Trent Alexander-Arnold would pump the ball forward from these positions, a great passer of the ball. Shipkaz here as well. It would make it difficult. Arsenal would sometimes get caught out. And, well, that's one of the areas that we actually got caught out for the first goal. But that is the breakdown of Arsenal in and out of possession and Liverpool in and out of possession. But let's have a quick look at what those action areas look like for both clubs. Just kind of reiterating what we highlighted from the tactical board there. We can see that Saliba, number 12, and Gabriel, number 6, the furthest players back, with Thomas Partey sat just in front. Tomiyasu tucking in just slightly, not much of an inverted fullback like we see from Zinchenko, for example, but he's definitely more defensively minded, and we see that quite often last season when playing as a right back. Ben White getting forward. He's forming a fantastic relationship with Saka, who is the furthest player forward, but we can see that diamond forming there with the likes of Odegaard, Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, and Jesus, trying to overload that midfield where we often saw just Thiago and Henderson. But then we also see this little wide rotation forming here between Granit Xhaka, Jesus, and Martinelli on that left-hand side, operating in that half space, making it really difficult for Trent Alexander-Arnold, which we can see in their passing shape. Number 66, really, really advanced, playing alongside Mohamed Salah. So you can see this is definitely an area that Arsenal looked to target. Darwin Núñez, the furthest player forward for Liverpool, very, very congested in the middle of the park there. Jota having to drop deep sometimes to make those numbers up in midfield. But they found it very, very difficult at times to get the ball off of Arsenal. Arsenal very good at hitting them on the break. And it's no surprise to see that the majority of the possession was in the middle of the park, 40% of it. Only 25% in Arsenal's third. I did think that number would probably be a little bit higher than it was, 35% in Liverpool's third. And it really was a game of wingers. We have to look there at Arsenal's play, a lot of that deep orange on the left and the right, likewise with Liverpool as well. Let's break down that first goal then. It came inside the first minute. And the one thing that I want to highlight here in this particular angle is the positioning of Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's caught square. We can see on this left-hand side here, the upper red circle, if you will, is the run of Martinelli. Not far behind him is Granit Xhaka as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold caught in two minds. Does he come towards the ball? He is a little bit under pressure, Martin Odegaard here from Henderson, but he's caught in two minds, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Does he come towards the ball? Does he track the run of Martinelli? Does he track the run of Granit Xhaka, making it very, very difficult? But Martin Odegaard takes a couple of touches and he waits for the perfect moment before slipping this ball through, and eventually Martinelli tucks it into the back of the net. And this is what I meant when we were looking at a tactical ball just a minute ago. When Trent Alexander-Arnold is playing deep, he's able to fire these balls in very effectively from pretty much wherever he likes, it feels at times. But there is questions as to whether or not Darwin Núñez is offside, the player highlighted there in the white circle on the left-hand side. He doesn't actually touch the ball in the end. Gabriel tries to clear it. He takes a slight touch, which knocks it into another Liverpool player. This is not given as an offside, so I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below, whether or not this should have been viewed a little bit more by VAR. But we can see here the very narrow back four of Arsenal, that straight line there. Ben White, the furthest player over to the right-hand side, tracking the run of the Liverpool left back. Just in front of that back four, we can see Arsenal's two deep pivots in Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey when Arsenal out of possession. Granit Xhaka often dropping a little bit deeper. And then we can see the three just in behind Gabriel Jesus, which is Martinelli, Saka, and Odegaard. And likewise with Liverpool here, just next to Trent Alexander-Arnold in the middle of the park, we can see Thiago and Henderson. And then that front four literally all clustered together on that back line of Arsenal there. Núñez, Salah, Jota, and also Luiz as well. So this was Arsenal's second goal, which came right before half-time. A great counter-attack off the back of a Liverpool free kick. Again, Trent Alexander-Arnold probably potentially to blame here. So Martinelli looks to go down the line. He knows he's got the beating of Henderson, who's in a bit of a foot race with him here. But Trent Alexander-Arnold puts all his eggs in one basket, anticipating that he's going to continue to go down that line. Now, Martinelli knows that if he continues to go down that area, he's probably going to get blocked off. It's difficult to get a cross in. He does the only thing that is available to him, which is cut back, leaving three Arsenal runners that we can see here towards the right-hand side of this picture. Gabriel making a run towards the near post, Saka and Odegaard making a run towards the back post, leaving that Liverpool player having to make a decision on who to mark out of the three players. Gabriel eventually lets the ball run through his legs for a tap-in at the back post for Saka. The final Liverpool goal of the game, probably the first mistake that Saliba's made all season. We can see here Arsenal in a fairly good shape there. We can see Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka just in front of the back four, making it difficult for Liverpool to operate between the lines. The ball's already been played at this point, but Saliba looks like he's coming infield and he's caught a little bit square, making it difficult. By the time he turns round, Robert Firmino's already made that run in behind him and received the ball. It was a fantastic finish, to be fair. And this is what we were talking about earlier on with regards to XG, how difficult it was to finish the ball from the angle and distance that Firmino shot from. So all credit due to Firmino, but this was probably the first mistake that Saliba made. I think we can all give him the benefit of the doubt, considering the performances that he has put in this season. And then finally, on the right-hand side, we can see here the tackle, the foul, however you want to word it, on Jesus for the eventual penalty, which was scored by Saka. And we can also hear on the left-hand side the cross that was blocked accidentally by Gabriel's arm. It wasn't given because of the distance between the two players. But again, let me know down in the comments below, were these the right decisions? In my opinion, yes, they were. But football is all about opinions, and I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below as well. And then to finish up on the left-hand side, we have some top statistics from all the Arsenal players today. We won't go through them. By all means, pause the video at this point and review them at your own pace. But some fantastic numbers there from the likes of Tomiyasu defensively, Partey when it comes to his passing, and Martinelli when it comes to his just attacking prowess. And that is who I gave my man of the match to. Look at all that deep yellow and red on his heat map on that left-hand side. He did not stop running today. What an absolute beast. What an absolute machine. He got himself a goal, an assist, 52 touches, 77 passing accuracy, a little bit low to his standards, but I think we can all forgive him for the performance that he put in today. 2 key passes, 1 long ball completed, 1 big chance created, a couple of shots in the game. No successful dribbles, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I'm pretty sure I see him take Trent Alexander-Arnold on at least 2 or 3 times among other Liverpool players. And he also completed 4 out of 10 duels. And there's a few tackles and somewhat in there too. But I'd love to know if you agree with my man of the match. If you don't, who are you giving the man of the match to? Let me know down in the comments below. But that is going to about wrap things up for this episode of Tactical Analysis. Arsenal 3, Liverpool 2, back to the top of the Premier League. Who are Arsenal going to beat next? Let me know. Brilliant. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. And get that notification bell button turned on so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, I'm JC and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.